Good morning, everyone. I'm Mitzi Dadoon, the LinkedIn Queen and president of MD Digital. And I'm really excited because something new, we're having Tammy Defoe, the president of GTApreneurs, actually lead the session and tell us more about what she's doing. So normally she's the one running the show, but this time myself and Sonia Kermy, another executive member, get to ask her some questions. So Tammy, tell us a little bit about this exciting event coming up on Wednesday, September the 15th at 12 noon Eastern. I understand you're going to be talking about the 7 steps to mastering sales and teaching everybody how to network. Tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be having the event next Wednesday and heading up with the keynote speaker. We have lots of amazing speakers at every event, right? I decided to take this one to share more of my expertise with all the guests. Fantastic time. We usually have 40 plus people come out to our events. A great time to meet new people. So about our topic of the day for our next week, 7 steps to mastering sales. So sales is a lost art in some respects, right? Things have gone, digital, right? People aren't communicating as much in terms of, relationships, social skills. A lot of things are just done through digital media, right? And a lot of businesses, they suffer, like they have a great product, they have a great service, but they're just not able to convert enough people into clients, right? Which is a problem. Yeah. So what I do and what I do in my referral groups actually, right, which both of you are in my exclusive business coaching referral networking groups, is we do a different topic each week, right? But we talk about sales. I know both you ladies are all already really amazing at getting new clients, right? And, again, it's even though we say sales, it's not like, we're selling something, right? It's more business development. So we're building those relationships is how you do it, but there's still a special technique to use. And it's huge, actually. I'm sure many of you have been to other events before, met other people that are just like, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product. What happens? You're like, whoa, right? I mean, okay, you're really desperate. If you come across as desperate, people are going to say, well, it must not be very good, right? If they have to be so desperate about it, right? So you don't want to be like that. And there's actually value in rarity, right? And so you have to hold as what you do is valuable, that people would want it, right? So in the event, I'm going to give you a sneak little peek of some great tips to helping you out with your sales, right from how do you meet people? How do you book meetings? And when you're in the meeting, what do you do? Right? That's the test right there is what do you do in that meeting to get a client out of that, right? Some people, they struggle with booking meetings. I can help with that. Some people have meetings, but they're not getting clients. And why is that? So I'm so excited to help all of you out with that today, to share my knowledge with you all and see executive members here at the event. Mitzi will be joining us on the 28th, not next week. I believe Sonia will be there next Wednesday for the event. And I look forward to meeting all of you.
That sounds really exciting. And I know that you're also a master at networking with somebody when you sort of meet them in a casual situation. You're going on a walking club and you seem to have a real unique gift in turning those casual conversations into referrals for other members. So are you going to talk a little bit about that at the meeting?
Absolutely. As a leader of the referral groups, I also send my clients referrals, right? And I love doing it. And it's actually easier than people think. You just need to keep your eyes and ears open. So I've had many times when I go to social events. I'm not even from Toronto, actually, right? No family here, right? Most people I know are in the business community, but sometimes I go to these meetup events and I'm walking along and the person says something. I'm like, oh, I know a great one of those who can help you out. I've given referrals to realtor before, financial advisors, mortgage agents, and so on, health people. So it is a really great, way to get new clients. But, how do you have the conversations with people, right? So I can teach all that as well.
Yeah, I think that's one from my experience of getting to know you over the last year and a little bit, that's part of your real unique gift is that you can get those casual conversations and turn them into business. And I think that's a real gift. So I'm really looking forward to learning about that from you at the session. Sonia, I think you had a couple of questions that you wanted to ask Tammy as well.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm a member of the referral group. I love this group. Tammy does a great job and I'm really looking forward to hearing about the 7 steps of sales. you know, I've been in sales for a long time, but it's never, you know, you can always learn new things. So one thing I wanted to ask right now, I mean, sales is a big part of my business, probably a big part of many people's business. You know, what's the challenges, you know, right now? I mean, the last year and a half, we haven't been able to meet people person to person. And so online networking and online, you know, access to sales is so important. You know, tell me a little bit more about the you know, the event on the 15th and why this really does work.
Absolutely. You know, like today's day and age with the, you know, situation that, right, a lot of us have had to go digital. That's the only option you have. Thankfully, things are opening up more now, which means you do actually need to get out and meet people if you feel comfortable. It is ideal to meet people in person, which again, it's a whole technique. But with online, a lot of business can still be done. I know you ladies are great at that, right? And I said, I'm sending referrals, you ladies send referrals, and all kind of business is being done. And networking events are one of the best ways to get new clients. You can send all kind of messages on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever, but you know nothing about these people. Some people on LinkedIn, they have a profile and set it and forget it, right? You can send someone a connection request and they may not even see it. I've had that happen to me before, right? I'm like, hey, I sent you a connection request. They're like, oh yeah, I never checked LinkedIn, right? So there's some people like that. Some people who know they're very active on LinkedIn. So you can send all kind of messages, but you don't know where it's going to land. However, it still can be a good strategy, right? But when you're at a networking event, the other people at the event are going to the event because they want to meet with other people. Everybody's going because they want to meet with other people. Maybe get one or two, you know, like bird watchers or whatever, flies in the wall. They want to just check what it's about. But for the most part, people are going to meet people. These are your warmest leads. So you know what? You can add this to what you're doing, right? But the number one thing I highly recommend coming out to the business networking events. We've got these virtual, we get lots of people. You get the opportunity to give your elevator pitch, you know, meet with people in our premium events. You get to also have people in breakout rooms, right? So the great thing about doing your elevator pitch is that you get to reach everybody at the same time, right? And you get to just give people just a little short little taste. And in the breakout rooms afterwards, you get to know people a little bit more. You're further building that relationship, right? And then you can book meetings to even go further. It's that step further. So there are other events out there, right, that you just go for free and then, you know, you give your pitch and you leave, right? Well, that's okay because, you know, but then a lot of times what happens is that people don't follow up with the other people, right? They don't actually have another conversation with the person, right? Yeah. Or maybe by the time they actually connect in the meeting, the person's already met with the person one-on-one, like at one of our events where they've talked with them and it's first come, first serve. Right? So if you meet someone at our second hour of our event with the premium events, you already started that relationship building process. So you've got it up on anyone else that they may meet, book an appointment with next week, right? So meeting the person now is amazing, right? Some other events, which are also great, but then they just have the breakout rooms only. And what I found with those ones is that sometimes you don't get enough time to meet everybody, right? And so not everybody's met you either. So then you could maybe save the chat and contact people, which by the way, saving the chat is going to take you forever, like an hour and a half to sort all the information out. But then you can't really say, oh, it was nice to see you at this event. I want to learn more about your business because you didn't even see them, right? So I put together our events to give you the best of both worlds. You can give your pitch so that way everyone knows what you do. So you can easily say, hey, I love to meet you at the event. It was great. I'd like to learn more. Let's book a video call. But then you also can start the relationship building process in the event. The other great thing about our events is we provide you with a nice organized contact sheet. Let me actually show you for something for a second. While we're here, I will bring up quickly our last event. So after every event for our premium events, the guests will get a nice organized contact sheet. So let me just do a screen share right now.
And I have to tell you, as you're launching into this is one of my favorite parts of the events. When you pay for the premium or you're a member of a chapter, the fact that you get this after an event is amazing because what it does is it makes it so easy to follow up with people and reach out and have those conversations where it's as you say, it's so disorganized at other events. This is, I think, one of the really amazing things that I found from your events.
Exactly. And I can concur. If you've done any online events, especially, breakout rooms and people put things into a chat, I know that it has taken me sometimes hours to go through that chat to find this information that Tammy gives you very concisely and clearly laid out. Saves you a lot of time.
Yeah, ton of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way too. I've gone to other events and you download the save the chat and it is just a nightmare, right? So I'm like, forget that. You know what? Let me do that for you. And I'm going to send it to you within like 30 to 60 minutes of the end of the event.
Exactly. Also, I wanted to ask you, there is the two options, the free option where you get to your 30-second elevator pitch and you can save the chat, or the people that do the second hour, which I highly, highly recommend. Have you got feedback from people who have done the second hour and find that they're getting more connections, they're making more sales, and finding more people to do business with?
Absolutely, right? I get positive feedback all the time. A positive feedback on each version of the event, but people like, wow, I'm so happy I stayed, right? And they're like, just the spreadsheet alone is worth the, nominal fee sort of thing, right, for the event. So you know what? It's worth it. Save yourself the time, save yourself the hassle. The other thing too, right, is that when we're looking at a computer screen, it's like we're looking at a light bulb. So when you're spending an extra hour and a half to sort through this chat to get the information you want, that's precious, mental energy you're taking away from yourself. And that time can be better spent meeting with people, right? Doing stuff for your business. So don't waste time with putting together the chat. Get this nice organized contact sheet that we have. But yeah, you know what? We keep having more and more people at every event, and I'm just excited to meet more people. And you know what? Both you and Sonia and Mitzi have both been, of course, executive members. So you've been helping out with the events, but also you've been attending them, right? The second hour. So how do you ladies like that? Maybe Sonia can go first.
As I said, it is invaluable, being able to have the breakouts, meeting people one-on-one, getting that initial, conversation going. And then, of course, being able to contact them, follow up with the spreadsheet is absolutely invaluable. It's worth every cent as far as I'm concerned.
Sonia and Mitzi.
I absolutely agree. I find that, when you are in the breakout rooms, it gives you that chance to go a little bit more in depth, ask some questions, sort of get to know somebody a little bit. And you're going to find, sometimes there are going to be people that are in that breakout room that you immediately think, yeah, we really click and I can do some stuff with. And sometimes you're going to be in a breakout room with somebody that maybe you don't necessarily see where that synergy is right away. But often what happens is, because you spent a little bit of time talking to them, getting to know them, 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road, you might come across a situation and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what? That person that was in my breakout room, that might be a really good connection for them. Maybe because at that time they weren't the one for you, you sort of had a little bit kind of to the back burner, but because you have that spreadsheet, you can kind of go back and then make that connection, because it's really easy to find the information rather than trying to, okay, now which meeting was it? And I got to scroll through. You can just go right to that list, scroll through. Oh yeah, it was that person. And I make some additional notes on the Excel spreadsheet for myself, so I remember. And when I'm in the breakout rooms, I also make some notes about people as well, about their business. And this is Snickerdoodle. He loves to come to all of the meetings. He thinks that everybody comes to see him. So I apologize for his joining our interview today, but
oh, not a problem.
He's a networking cat. What can I tell you?
Yeah. And you know what, Mitzi, I'm really glad you brought that up about the breakout rooms. Is that the other thing is that if you just, meet people, just elevator pitches and things like that, it may sound great, but because you haven't taken the extra step, you haven't gotten to know where maybe this person's not really qualified to be your client. So instead of, let's book up a 30-minute meeting or 45-minute meeting afterwards, which is not going to be a good use of your time because you really didn't know, it actually is even better if you did have a chance to get to know them a little bit more in the breakout rooms, and then determine, do I want to invest my time in a longer meeting with the person? So I think with that is also a good situation.
Absolutely.
Yes, and also I've had situations where, I've had an amazing conversation because the breakouts are short and you get to talking and you don't have time to say, give me your information. And sometimes people don't put their information in the chats for whatever reason. So you have that, piece of paper, the spreadsheet to go back to and follow up with somebody. And yes, too, I also agree, Mitzi, I save mine. And oftentimes you have conversations with people that, you may not, be able to help yourself or be a client, vice versa. But somewhere down the road, you may find somebody, you may meet somebody else who's looking for something that person offers, because it's a give and take. We also like to give referrals as well as receive them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sure.
And that's where I find that sheet, of everybody who attended is really beneficial. And again, because you also don't end up in a breakout room with everybody. So there may be somebody who in the main part of the meeting you heard, and it's like, oh, I'd like to find out more about them. You may not end up in a breakout room with them, but at least this way you then have a way to follow up with them and take it that next step. Right. So it's advantageous if you end up in the same room as somebody, and it's advantageous if you don't end up in the same room as somebody.
For sure. And the other great thing about the spreadsheet is that I've organized it, that it's easy to upload to your CRM, right? Ideally, as entrepreneurs, we really should have a CRM. If you're not sure what that means, it's Customer Relationship Management System. And there's many different software programs you can use for that. So you can easily upload it where you can put more detailed notes. And also, usually it will sync with your email account. So any future communications email would automatically go there. But I still use the spreadsheets. What I'll do is after the event, I'll create a new column that says follow up. And then I will, as soon as I sent this person LinkedIn message, I'll put sent LinkedIn message and things like that. So I also do it so that way I can keep track of who I followed up with and who I haven't followed up with yet. So really handy in both those scenarios.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's
definitely
great.
worth it. Definitely worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you very much, Tammy. I mean, this was really informative, and I think people can easily see why it makes sense to come out to these networking events. As we mentioned, the next one is Wednesday, September the 15th at 12 p.m. Eastern. And another thing you do that's great is you do one that's like a lunchtime one, and then you do one that's an evening one. So I think you run them twice a month, and they're fabulous events. So this is going to be a great chance for everybody to learn about the 7 steps to mastering sales and getting some chance to network and learn a lot about other people's business and grow your own business.
Yes,
absolutely.
We hope to see you there. We hope to see you at the premiere event on the 15th. Looking forward to meeting you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.